Hello YouTube, Aeon Slasher here, with my new segment, Things That I Love. And the reason that I'm making this video is because, well, the entire reason I'm making this playlist is because, it's kind of a two-part process. The first part has to do with, both parts have to do with depression. The first part is that depression tends to make your memories seem kind of far away, and it can make remembering the reasons why you enjoy things and make finding enjoyment in things kind of difficult. So I'm making these videos partially to help remind myself about why I loved these things and why I got into them in the first place. And two, doing things that I enjoy really, really helps me with my depression. I'm probably going to start up a game Let's Play playlist because I love playing video games, and I want to spread the enjoyment of these things. What I'm going to be talking about today is Fruits Basket by Natsuki Takaya. And this video is going to tell you all about why she's amazing. There are currently 3 series in my brains. 3 things. And when I introduce other people to those things, I feel like I did good. I put good feelings and good vibes out in the world, and Fruits Basket is number 1 on the good feelings, good vibes list. So the main character is this girl on the front page, Toru, and she's an orphan who finds family with the Soma clan, who has way too much family to count, and they're huge. And it's all about, I'm going to spoil the first book hard. I'm not going to try and spoil too much of the rest of the series. It's fairly long. It's 23 manga. They have an anime that is beautiful, but not as in-depth as the manga, which is how things tend to go. The anime is a lot more lighthearted, a lot more kind of just happy-go-lucky than the manga is, but the manga, and this is the reason why I love the manga deals with some really, really hard life, things. It's, so the story itself is about Toru learning to live with the Soma family. And the Somas have this kind of genetic affliction where 13 of them, 1 for each member of the zodiac plus the cat, but that's not the story I'm going to tell you about. They change into their zodiac animals when they're hugged by the member of an opposite sex. And, hilarity ensues because of it. But that's kind of just the surface. Fruits Basket is deep, like an ocean. And at its core, at the bottom of the ocean, what this is about, the foundation of what this book was built on, what this series was built on, is learning how to survive. And it's how to survive everything. How to survive abuse, how to survive anxiety, how to survive depression. It's all about recovery and beautiful, beautiful, beautiful things, and how we as people can help each other recover from horrible stuff like abuse and depression and anxiety. And just how, we need to be there for each other as people. Even though it's a story about people turning into animals, it's really, really, it's really hard to explain. I'm not gonna lie. It's, that's just because it's so deep. You learn everyone's backstory. You learn why everyone has the things they do. There's a couple people I personally consider irredeemable, but that's all me personally. And you get told the reasons for things, and nothing's it's so beautiful, and it's about finding family, and it's about finding love. I'm gonna tell you about this super cute part that happens at the end of the first book. And honestly, this bit is probably the point where I fell in love with the series. And I'm going to tell you guys about it. And then I'm going to read you a quote about how to deal with depression and anxiety. And read it. If you can read it, it's online. They're currently coming out with a revamped version. I like Tokyo Pop's version. They're a little more subtle about some things, but the new version looks cool too. It's all good. Anyways, Toru is an orphan, as I said earlier. And she has to move out and move in with some, extended relatives near the end of the first book. And she's feeling really sad, and she's remembering the story of how she's always just kind of been an outsider. She's talking about how she made a mistake in thinking of them as her family, because ever since she was little, she was considered this outsider. So they were playing this game in elementary school called Fruits Basket, which is, title. And what happens in Fruits Basket, all the kids sit in the circle. Every person in the circle is given the name of a fruit. There's somebody who's it. And when you call the name of that fruit, you get up and you run around and you gotta switch seats and stuff. And it's just super duper fun. And Toru, instead of being assigned a fruit, was assigned onigiri, which is a rice ball. And she didn't realize at first that she was being made fun of. And then it says, but as they played the game, I waited for someone to call onigiri. But no one called. I was very little then. I'd almost forgotten about that. But they knew there would never be room for an onigiri in a Fruits Basket. It's just oh my God, so sad. She just wants to belong with people, and she just wants to have a place that she can call her own, and she doesn't, she's just so sad. And then the boys come and get her because, they're her family now, and she's decided that they're her family. And the moment when she finally feels like she belongs, there's just this little picture to the side of baby Toru and someone calling onigiri, and it's just she finally found a place for her to belong. She finally found her place, and it's just beautiful. And it's the end of the first book, and the entire series is about finding those kinds of connections and having those kinds of relationships, and it's just beautiful. It's all beautiful, so beautiful. It's got so many great life lessons. To finish this off, I'm gonna read you another quote, and this one, also dealing with Toru. She is feeling a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety because, high school is going to end in a couple of years, and a couple of years sounds kind of far away, but she's living on her own. She's living with a family who she loves with all her heart, but is not her actual family, and she thinks she has to still take care of herself, and she's crying and freaking out. And then this is the advice she's given, and it's super good advice for dealing with anxiety. So I'm gonna leave off on this, and then hopefully you guys will just go and check it out, because it's a fantastic series, and if you can read it, I would suggest you read all of it, because it's so beautiful and it's so moving. Okay, so for example, let's say, Toru-kun, that you are surrounded with a mountain of laundry, piled so high around your feet that you can't move. Now let's assume you don't have a washing machine, so you have to wash everything individually by hand. You would be at a loss of what to do, right? You'd worry if you could ever wash every single thing, if you could get it all clean, if you'd ever have time for anything but laundry ever again. The more you think about it, the more anxious you get, but time keeps passing and the laundry doesn't wash itself. So what do? It might be a good idea to start with the laundry at your feet. Of course, it's important to think about what lies ahead too, but if you only look at what's down the road, you'll get tangled in the laundry at your feet and you'll fall, won't you? You see, it's important to think about what you can do now, what you can do today. And if you keep washing things one at a time, You'll be done before you know it, because fortune is looking out for you. Sometimes the anxiety will start to well up, but when it does, take a little break. Read a book, watch TV, or eat somen with everyone. It's just like connections and love and acceptance, and it's a beautiful, beautiful series, and everyone should read it. It's chock full of quotes like that. I'm probably going to be quoting from this series for the rest in like a bunch of my other videos. It is literally, this is the closest I get to a Bible, like the Fruits Basket series. I use it to try and live my life to my highest ability, because I feel like that's the way to do it. You don't have to feel quite so strongly about it, but I would suggest everyone who's dealing with these dark, horrible feelings to read the book, because at its core, it's a book about survival, and it's a book about moving past all those horrible, horrible things that happen to you and being able to live your life the way you want. So that's Fruits Basket. If you like the sound of it, definitely check it out, because Takaya Sensei, super, super amazing. And like always, stay strong.